Good morning, girls. How are you all? So today virtual class, fourth virtual class on the topic coordinate classification. Okay. So coordinate classification here I'm made easy for your exam point of view. Okay. So it will be very easy. Listen to the video, make a notes. Okay. And here coordinate classification have made easy here. Okay. Very easy. Okay. After listening to it, you will feel very easy. But here, before going to the coordinate classification, let's discuss what are the important coordinate characters. Because till now we didn't discuss the coordinate. No, till before that we discussed about the hemicoordinate. That means it have half coordinate characters and half invertebrate characters. Okay. So coordinates we have started. So coordinate important characters here I am going to discuss. When we can say the coordinates, pure coordinates, whenever the coordinates presents notochord, okay, so it's a dorsal tubular cord, okay, which is not fixed but it is present in between alimentary canal and above nerve cord, okay, so it will be hollow. So here the next character, presence of nerve cord. So this is the nerve cord which is hollow, which is present dorsal to the notochord. Okay. So next, the important character is pharyngeal gill slits. Okay. So the chordates, the first formed chordates will have pharyngeal gill slits. That means their respiratory organs, gill slits, which are present either side of the pharynx. So that's what we call pharyngeal gill slits. Okay. So later the last character is post-anal tail. This is a post-anal tail character. This post-anal tail will be reduced or absent in the adult chordates. Okay. So these are the important characters of the chordates. You have to remember every time these characters regarding the chordates. Okay. So you have known now the important characters of the chordate. Now let's discuss the classification regarding the chordate. Okay. So here chordate phylum. Okay, chordate is a phylum which divided into two important groups. What is that? Acraniata. Acraniata. A means what? Absent. Crania means skull. Okay. So acraniata means what? Without skull. Here the second group is craniata. That is acraniata. It is a craniata with skull. Okay. So this chordate phylum divided into two important groups, acraniata and craniata. Now here acraniata further divided into two subphylums. Okay, phylum chordata now divided into two subphylums, that is cephalochordata and urochordata. And this cephalochordata and urochordata are together called as protochordates. Protochordates. Okay, protochordate means what? Proto means what? First. Chordates. Okay, chordates means what? The presence of cord. Eta means bearing. Okay, the first organism which are bearing the cord. Okay, so that's what we call protochordates. In this there are two important groups. What are they? Cephalochordata and urochordata. Okay, cephalochordata. Cephalo means what? Head. Okay, here the cephalo means what? Head. Cord means presence of cord. Eta means bearing. That means here the cord present from head to the tail. Okay, here in this chordata, cord will present from head region to tail region. So that kind of organisms are called cephalochordates. Okay, so example what we can give under the cephalochordata, Amphioxus. Okay, Amphioxus. The scientific name of the Amphioxus is Branchiostoma lanceolatum. Okay, here the organism both ends, that means mouth end and tail end, will be very sharp. That's why we call lanceolatum. Okay, and here urochordata, second subphyla, that is the urochordata. Uro means what? Tail. Cord means cord. Okay, presence of cord. Eta means bearing. Here the cord, uro means tail. Okay, that means in this kind of urochordate organisms, the organisms come under this urochordata, cord will present at the tail end. Okay, chord erased at the tail end, so called urochordate. Okay, urochordates also called as tunicates. Okay, urochordates also called as tunicates because their entire body is covered by a membrane called tunic, which is made up of a chemical substance that is called tunicine, which is very hard. Okay, so these urochordate organisms are Headmania, Ascidia, Doliolum, Salpa. Okay, so these are the true subphylums under Chordata phylum. Next, other third subphyla under chordate phylum is Vertebrata. Okay, Vertebrata is a third phylum. These vertebrata we'll discuss later. First, we'll discuss about the cephalochordates. Okay, so I think you have understood. Cephalocordate means what? The cord which is present from head region to the tail region. Okay, what is the urochordata? The cord arises in the tail region. This you have to remember in the different character between cephalocordata and urochordata. Okay, so what is the different character? Presence of cord in urochordates in the tail region, in the cephalocordate from head to tail region. Okay, examples: Amphioxus. Here the examples are Headmania, which are commonly called as sea squids. Okay, next coming to the third subphylum, Vertebrata. Okay, presence of vertebra, spine. Okay, there is a difference between cord and vertebra. Okay, the cord further gives rise to vertebra, that means spine. These vertebrata further divided into two groups, that is agnatha, gnathostomata. A means absent, gnatha means what? Mouth or jaw. Okay, so here without jaw organisms are called agnathans, and organisms with the jaw are called as gnathostomata. Okay, gnatha means jaw, stoma means mouth or jaw. Okay, mouth will form a jawbone, eta means bearing. Next, agnatha divided into only single class, that is the cyclostomata. Okay, this cyclostomata is a single class. Why we call the cyclostomata? Because the cycle means round, stoma means mouth, eta means bearing. Okay, so the circle like a mouth is present, that's why we call it as cyclostomata. Example: Petromyzon and Myxin. Okay, so next what you are discussing, agnatha we have completed, gnathostomata also what we discussed. Now this gnathostomata divided into two superclasses, that is Pisces and tetrapods. Okay, here Pisces means fishes, which includes fishes. These superclass Pisces now again divided into two classes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. Okay, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. Chondrichthyes are called bony fishes, and Osteichthyes are called what? So this already we discussed in the previous class. Okay, cartilaginous fishes. Okay, bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. Here the next superclass tetrapods. Tetrapods we call because it bears four legs. Okay, tetra means four, pods means legs. This superclass tetrapods further divided into four important classes, that is amphibia, reptiles, birds, mammals. Okay, amphibians what? It includes frogs. Reptiles means what? Snakes, lizards. Okay, snakes which come under the order Ophidia, lizards which come under Lacertilia. Okay, like these reptiles are the creeping animals. Birds means what? Like example, crow, parrot. Okay, flightless birds, non-flightless birds will be present in this. Okay, birds. Aves we can call them. Okay, aves which include all birds. Okay, so mammals means even we human beings will come under the mammals. All other organisms, okay, like turtles will come under the mammals. So these are the tetrapods. So girls, this is the brief classification of chordate, okay, or vertebrata. Okay, don't feel nervous, it is very easy. So when they asked for essay, write on classification on the chordate means you have to draw this flowchart and give the examples under that and discuss that with 2 or 3 points, then it will be essay, will be very easy. Thank you girls.